Morning and welcome to Drawing with Lord Karnage. This is Mark and I'm using my GoPro Hero 4 to film these, and it comes with a nice app that I use as the monitor. And whenever you turn this thing on to start the app, they always have like their GoPro channel, which features a bunch of pretty people with their shirts off, like biking or snowboarding, and girls in bikinis lounging on the beach by the sunset. And I'm here in space, shotgunning cups of coffee, drawing cartoons about a drunk chicken, a talking squid, and a spaceship on his third margarita. I think GoPro should be featuring me. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. It's gray. So I guess this is episode 30 already. Time flies when you're drawing coked up space chickens, and what I'm doing is putting a bit of detail into the background of the bar scene in the middle of the book. This is where we meet Heyzoos, Wind Squid, and Space Gar, who get into a bar fight in Truxton, New York. And this is the jukebox I'm drawing in the background, called the Disco Trex. Seems like an obvious name for jukebox to me. And I'm putting notes on it because nothing says I play music like having a bunch of notes all over you. So I've been working on this page for the last day or so, and obviously it needs a lot of cleanup, but here's a look at the inks in progress. The goons break into the bar in Truxton, New York, and pick a fight with Wind Squid, Heyzoos, and Space Gar, who are mourning the loss of Lord Karnage and Edit Station 1, who have mysteriously vanished right before this. And that'll be covered a bit later in the book. So here we have a biker thug who's about to punch Heyzoos, who's of course inebriated. So here's the rough inks, and then down here we have the next shot where Heyzoos does a shot and Space Gar incinerates the biker thug using lasers. Because as a general rule, you should not pick a fight with a spaceship in a bar. And even though this is Ethel the Cyborg Ninja, Book 1, Heyzoos, the coked up chicken from another dimension, who first appeared in Lord Karnage Book 1, is an essential character. Oops. This beat can be tricky to get just right. It seems like it'd be a pretty easy thing to draw, and it usually is, but every now and then there's a shot where I think Heyzoos has to show a certain expression, and his beak has to do the expression because his eyes are usually just like that. So it's sometimes tricky, like just gotta get the angles just right. So it's kind of like he's smiling, but he's also incoherent at the same time. There we go. It's easy to overthink it also. Took a few tries there, but got his beak in order, all right? Grab my paint bucket. Do his hair. All right, so here's the rough inks laid down for the Heyzoos shot glass scene. This is a tricky hand position there. I actually just drew myself holding an empty cup of yogurt that I just ate. See? This model has a shot glass yogurt, so you know for future reference. I'm not doing shots at the hell time, not 8:30 in the morning. In fact, I don't do shots at all. That's just a recipe for ruining the next day. There we go. I'm trying to make my inking lines look a little more like pencils these days. Loosen them up a bit. I doubt that I'll get things right here in the first pass while you're watching this, so it's a good chance I'll come back and tweak it later. Let's get the guy's face exploding in the background after Space Guard shoots him with lasers. Alright, it took a few tries to get the angle of his laser just right to make the shot work, but here we have Space Guard taking care of the thug threatening Heyzoos in the bar fight, because Space Guard's a good friend. And after the events of Lord Karnage Book 1, you should know that since he's leveled up a couple times, and he has rapid fire and he speaks German, he's dangerous. So he blows up his head with a laser. I want to put some action lines in the background here to make the laser stand out a bit more. But save a lot of the background work for the end. I want to get the characters and stuff done first. Like I said in an earlier video, I want to feel like I've accomplished something at some point here. What am I on page? 34. Well, I got a long way to go, so. I'm gonna put some tattoos on his arm. Gotta design those. I haven't really come up with that yet. So there we have a pretty simple sequence of shots. I'll clean up the frame and stuff as I go. Let's look at the digital sketch layer here, where the last panel has Wind Squid and Space Guard, who spare the life of the last thug. The top shot here, where the one goon gets blown out of the bar window and flies over his bikes, is going to be tricky to draw. So I'm going to save that for later when I've got some more time to sink into one shot. Since it's an exterior shot, it's going to take some time to come up with the outside of the bar, which I have to do for 2 shots. That shouldn't be hard. It'll be like just a crappy stereotypical Roadhouse, like American Roadhouse bar. Which of course just reminds me of the movie Roadhouse, which is a freaking awesome movie. And I got to do some research on the bikes, since offhand I don't really know how to draw a bike. I'm working on the rough sketch of the goon's back here, and I'm going to do a little more work on the muscles on his back, since he's like the weightlifting guy in the background here with the bandana. This has such a Streets of Rage inspiration. I'm just going to give him a club and a chain like Road Rash or something. I love the 80s and 90s stereotypical thugs from video games. But I'm just going to block in his arms and his hand over here. I'll probably end up doing like another pen layer on top of him when I get around to it, but he's got a leather jacket on with the arms cut off, because that's what thugs wear. What would be good is if there's some kind of a gang patch on the back, right? I don't know what logo to give it. Alright, just sitting here laughing at my own jokes, which is pretty normal for me, actually.